If you want to be the next Chip and Joanna Gaines, this video is for you. We're going to be talking about fix and flip loans. I'm here with Willis. We're going to get started right now. Willis, how are we doing today?
We're doing great. How are you doing?
I'm good. Let's talk about some fix and flip. I know we spent some time talking about DSCR and fix and flip a little while ago. We're going to get a little bit more, go a little deeper on fix and flip and talk about the scope of work. So you're out there, you want to tackle your next flip, maybe your first fix and flip project. And you are interested in financing, and you need to understand the details of how they work and really how to manage the scope of work effectively to make sure that you stay right side up on the project. And the scope of work is where that's all tracked, correct?
Right. Exactly. So with the fix and flip loan, you can go up to 50% of your purchase price. So if you buy a home for $200,000, you can go up to $100,000 and get that finance. So the scope of work is really that portion of the loan. We also can finance up to 90% of the purchase price of the property. So those two numbers go together for your total loan. So when you're looking at a potential fix and flip, you really have to get to be successful. You really have to get a solid budget on what you're actually doing, and that's called the scope of work. The things that you want to focus on specifically for the scope of work, in my opinion, is you definitely want to get somebody to check the foundation, and you want to get somebody to check the roof, because both of those, if they're not fixed during the process and there's issues with them, will torpedo any kind of loan that your potential buyer is able to come to. And now instead of getting a full table of all potential buyers out there to look at your new fix and flip to buy it, you would only be able to sell to somebody that's a cash buyer, and they're going to take advantage of that. So those kind of, an FHA, conventional VA, DSCR loans, they all have to have a foundation. And there can't be foundation issues. So you want to get a specific bid for that if there's an issue. If the roof is too old, that could lead to problems with getting people qualified. So you definitely want to get that.
So when you're going through this process and using obviously a contractor, more than likely using a contractor to do the work, like how detailed does the statement of work need to be?
Yeah, it doesn't have to be so detailed. We don't need to know every single room and that you plan to add shelves in the master bedroom, or you're planning to add a built-in desk in a hallway or something like that. We just need to know generally kind of generalities. Now, there is a line item for the budget on the kitchen. There's a line item for the budget on bathrooms, not a specific bathroom. There's a line item for budget for flooring, and it's the whole house. So if you have your budget broken down into rooms, it'll have to be tweaked a little to coincide with how we look at it. But by and large, it's typically broad strokes. And the reason that's important to get that set out in the beginning is because that's how your draw schedule is paid out later on. So if you come in and you say $4,000 for flooring, and you spend more on that, even though you might have it in the total budget, you can't access that extra until after you get farther along in the budget or in the process with your draws, when some other part comes in lower. So if you spend $5,000 on flooring and it's budgeted for $4,000, you can only get $4,000 until we get to the end of the process to get the rest with the stuff that we put in there. So you want to give yourself a little bit of room in that. But at the same time, like I said, it's an overarching budget. It's not room by room specific. So
got it. All right. Well, let's use a real world example. Right? I'm looking at my next project. The purchase price is $500,000, right? So it's my next fix and flip. It's $500,000. Where do I start?
So the first thing to do would be to get an inspector or a contractor to go in. Contractor can give you a bid on all the things that you want to update. they probably have contact with a foundation expert, or your realtor will have a foundation expert go in there, and then have a roofing expert go in there. Have those
Okay.
three go in, have them look at it, see what it is. If it's 500,000, like I said, you can go up to a budget of 250. Now
Okay.
you can go over that, but we're not lending more than 100% of your budget up to 50% of the purchase price.
Okay.
So yeah, and then once you have that budget, we can start putting things together. You can make an offer, and you can see if the numbers are going to work for you.
Is there any requirement? I mean, is there any? I guess if I'm thinking about it, my biggest concern would be, all right, so if it's 50% of the purchase price,
Mm-hmm.
you know, do I want to add 10% to the contractor's bid to cover myself, or
Yeah,
you know,
you
like,
can. There is a section where we automatically put in a buffer in there as well.
there is a buffer.
So
Okay.
yeah, there's a buffer. I don't think it's as much as 10, but you could pad your numbers a little bit as long as you're staying below that 50%.
Got
of
it.
the purchase
And then anything
price.
north of 50% that comes up, it's out of pocket.
Right. Exactly.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah.
All right. So the pre-qualification for this process, any different than a conventional loan?
Oh yeah, because it's a pre-qualification versus a pre-approval. Conventional loan is going to look at debt to income ratios. It's going to look at assets. It's going to look at where those assets are coming from. This, we don't look at income. We don't look at assets. It's a soft credit pull. And so all of that goes into an algorithm for the pre-qualification. Really what we do is we run the numbers, and we make sure that the after renovative value is going to be more. The loan can't exceed 75% of the after renovative value. So we have to look at how much you're putting down, what the budget is, and then we use those numbers to say, yes, we're pre-qualified. And then you can make an offer. Then we can submit that to the lender to make sure that it truly is approved. Whole process on these loans takes about 18 days if it's the first time we're doing one with you. But if you've already got your LLC going, we've already done a couple, they can take as few as 11 days. So really quick process once we get going on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I've completed the work. I'm ready to move forward and get the home listed. What happens if it takes an unusual amount of time to sell?
So you have that 75% loan to value on what it is. So there's room in there to reduce your price. Now that means you're not making as much on your profit, but there is room to where you can get out of the loan without losing your shirt on it.
Okay.
If you think it's going to take longer than 12 months, they're 12-month interest-only loans, then you can, at the beginning, pick an 18-month or a 24-month term that would give you more time to sell. And really, that typically needs to be done on bigger projects where it's going to take you 8, 9, 12 months to do the renovation project. Then you want to give yourself more time with the term. But otherwise, most of these loans are, people are fixing them up in 3 to 6 months, and they have plenty of time to get them sold.
Got it. So your realtor is your trusted advisor for a number of things here. One, the experts for roof and foundation. Two, hey, what is the post-construction value of the property, and what is the read on how long that property is going to take to sell based on comps in the area.
Yep, exactly.
Awesome. Okay. Well, pretty straightforward, very helpful, Willis, as always. So reach out if you guys have questions about this product. We'd be more than happy. I know I'm starting to look around for my first California fix and flip, which I'm sure is ripe with an additional level of hair on it, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But as always, Willis, thanks so much for your time. Reminder, everybody, if you're not subscribed, please click that subscribe button, leave us some comments. It really helps us know what you guys are looking for content wise. So Willis, thanks. Have a great day, team. We'll see you back here for the next video.
Bye.
See ya.